Hi everyone, it's Sean here, and I want to give everybody an update on the John Haynes at Death's Door Kickstarter. Currently, we have 60 backers, and the John Haynes at Death's Door Kickstarter has 10 days to go. So, if you want to pick up your copy of John Haynes at Death's Door, whether it be a digital or a paper copy, you can put in your pledge by clicking the link in the description box. I want to thank everybody who has put in a pledge for the John Haynes at Death's Door Kickstarter, and I'm hoping to get this comic to you soon.
What is going on here? Well, since you're not here to protect Wakanda, I am coming in to get my Swirlord. Get your Swirlord! Well, that's what happens when there are no men to protect the community. Outside men like myself come in with our glorious booties, and we come in and we take your women. That's why I'm no longer going to be called the Submariner after Wakanda Forever. I'm going to be called the Swirl Mariner. After I get my swirl on with all of these Wakandan women, all of those black American women out there are going to be mesmerized by my booty, and they're going to want to get their swirl on as well. So the Wakanda Forever movie is nothing more than social engineering? Of course it is. That's why everybody's all happy about it in the black community, because I'm coming to get my swirl on as the Swirl Mariner. No, what you're going to do is get out of my community like this. Get out of here. You should not have made this movie, Kevin Feige. You should not have made it. You should not have made it.
After watching the trailer for Black Panther Wakanda Forever, it looks like they're not trying to market this film towards black men. Now, back in 2018, Black Panther became the #1 movie in America and the #1 movie in the world, primarily because black men and black boys spent their money to go see this film at theaters. However, your Marvel Studios and your Kevin Feige look like they don't value the black male dollar, and instead of trying to target the film towards black men, they have decided to target Black Panther Wakanda Forever towards black women. Now, I believe somebody in the marketing department told your Kevin Feige and Marvel Studios and Disney that black women control most of the money, and with the black woman being the most educated woman in the world, this making it a black girl magic movie would make it more profitable for Disney. However, I believe that this is a critical mistake by your Disney to target the film towards black women, because usually black women are not the ones who go out here and buy tickets to superhero movies, nor do they have an interest in black science fiction, black fantasy, or comic books. Yes, there's a small population of sisters who do like comics, science fiction, and fantasy, but the majority of customers for your superheroes, comics, science fiction, and fantasy and superhero movies are primarily black men, and alienating your core customer base of black men to try to get a larger audience of black women. However, going after that audience of black women can backfire in a spectacular fashion. And it can backfire in a spectacular fashion because usually women aren't interested in watching superhero movies with other women. Now, when it comes down to movies that feature heroines, usually it's men who go out here and watch these kinds of movies, not women. So marketing Black Panther Wakanda Forever to go after the black girl magic crowd could end up winding up being a tragedy for Marvel Studios, because usually women aren't interested in watching superhero movies outside of looking at the incredibly handsome man like the late Chadwick Boseman. And usually most women want to see that handsome man going out here and participating in heroic deeds, because women are attracted to strong alpha males, and women want to see a strong alpha male on screen going out here and saving the world. This is what appeals to most women, but what you're seeing in Wakanda Forever is basically a what they call a girl power movie, and a girl power movie might wind up failing at the box office like the recent movie The 355, because most women are not really attracted to seeing other women on screen participating in masculine roles. No, most women identify with the damsel in distress, and they identify with the woman who is being saved by the hero. That's what gives women incentive to go out here and see a superhero movie. Now, in most cases, when you're dealing with a largely female audience, they get turned off at the idea of the heroine being on screen and participating in masculine roles, because when they see a heroine in a masculine role, it just isn't something that appeals to the fantasy that they have about the world. No, usually most women want to see a heroine, but they don't want to see a heroine in a masculine type role. They want to see a heroine in a feminine type role. So when I look at this whole Black Panther Wakanda Forever, it looks like this film is being marketed in the wrong way, and the way that they're marketing this film may lead to the film possibly failing to get its core audience, because usually when a woman sees another woman with power, this is something that angers her, because usually women compete with other women, and when they see another woman or a group of women with power, this is not something that they want to see on screen, because it's not something that they want to see in real life. Most women don't want to see another woman having more power than them, and usually most women, they don't like seeing women with other power, because they get jealous of those women. And when women get jealous of another woman, usually she gets turned off, and that's what disincentivizes her from wanting to go see a movie. Because again, most black women, they really don't like seeing other women having what they can't have, and seeing other women doing things that they can't do. So this stuff, again, it makes them very angry, and it's not going to give them a reason to go out here and buy tickets. And I believe that your Kevin Feige and Marvel Studios know this, and that's why they're deliberately trying to market this movie as a girl power movie. And they want to market this movie as a girl power movie so that they can, again, alienate the core customer base, and that's all lies in their plans to sabotage the growing black comic book, black fantasy, and black science fiction market, because they see the black comic, black fantasy, and science fiction market growing, and they're looking for an excuse for that market not to get any more investment. And yes, passively, they made a Black Panther movie, but aggressively behind the scenes, they are doing everything to ensure that this movie fails, because when you don't have a movie that features the hero in it, and you go and alienate and not even target the core customer base, you're basically saying you don't want that customer and you don't want their dollars. And that's what they're trying to do with your Black Panther Wakanda Forever. They're trying to go out here and make it where there's no more investment in black comics, black fantasy, and black science fiction from the mainstream media. Because again, passively, they've greenlit Black Panther Wakanda Forever, but aggressively, what they're doing is hoping that this movie fails so that they can go and say, we've had 3 failures like A Wrinkle in Time and other movies and other projects, and then use that as a reason to not make any more projects that feature black leads. They want to make it where Black Panther is a fluke in their eyes, but what they're doing is trying to manipulate the information to prevent people from seeing the truth. Now, the other thing that I am deeply disgusted about Black Panther Wakanda Forever is the insidious messages that are presented in this film. Now, in this film, not only are they giving you this whole black female empowerment, girl power message, they're also going out of their way to bring in Namor as an anti-hero, and they want to bring in this anti-hero to represent the bad boy who invades the Wakanda, and your Wakanda is being used as a metaphor for the black community. And what they're trying to do is socially engineer the idea that the black man can't protect his own community and that an outsider has to come in, and that the outsider, even though he's invaded your community, now wants to be the protector of your community. So basically, they're trying to socially engineer the idea that your Namor is going to be the protector of Wakanda, and they're trying to make the idea that he's going to be able to come in there and not only take all protect the community as an outsider, but also come in and plunder the resources and then go out here and have his way with the Wakandan women. And that's another insidious message towards promoting swirling, and that's why they're trying to make the Submariner the Swirl Mariner, and they're basically trying to make this non-black man be the only man in the community. Again, messages meant to try to present a narrative that black men can't protect their communities, and this is the kind of insidious social engineering that this film has in the underlying tones as related to its story, basically trying to say that a black man cannot protect his community, and also trying to go out here and try to make it where you're pushing narratives towards the black woman in this story, and the narratives you're trying to push towards the black woman in this story are that, oh, there's no black man who will protect you, outsiders can come in and protect you, and outsiders can go out here and have relationships with you. Now that may appeal to the small group of swirlers out there, but most black women would possibly get turned off by this film. And again, this is all done deliberately by, I believe, your Marvel Studios to prevent people from going out here and watching this film so that they can go out here and undermine and sabotage the black comic and fantasy market. Now, there is a growing black comic, black fantasy, and black science fiction market out there being produced by independent black writers like myself. And black writers like myself, we want to go out here and promote positive images of black manhood, black masculinity, and show you that black men can be leaders and protectors. And we do it in stories like I do, like The Temptation of John Haynes, The Man Who Rules the World, and the John Haynes series, showing you an image of black masculinity and black manhood, something that your Marvel Studios doesn't want to give you because they want to continue pushing the narrative that the black woman needs to get protected by outsiders. But most black creators like myself, we want to go out here and present you with an image of black manhood and black masculinity. And that's not something you're going to get in Black Panther Wakanda Forever, which is meant to try to pander to black women passively, but aggressively it presents an anti-black message, because when you have a film where the black female is the lead and she's acting masculine, this is a direct insult directed at the black woman passively by saying, oh, you're a strong black woman, but aggressively they're pushing the image that you are just like a man. And this is something that Hollywood has done ever since the 1930s with movies like Imitation of Life. And most black women don't really look at these kind of messages as insults to them. No, many black women sit there and buy into the whole idea of the strong black women, but you have to ask the question, why is it that the strong black woman is masculine, and why is women who are supposedly strong, like the Xena warrior princess or a Wonder Woman, they are allowed to have their femininity? That's the question many black women need to ask. Why is Buffy, Xena, and your Wonder Woman allowed to be feminine, but when we have images of black women, like in Wakanda Forever and movies like The Woman King, they're masculine? So I just look at this whole situation at Marvel Studios with their WACKANDA FAILEVER, and I think it might be a fail overall, because when you're trying to target a movie towards black women that black women usually don't watch, and you're alienating a big core customer base of black men who thought that they were going to see more black comic, movies, more black fantasy, and more black science fiction if they invested in Black Panther, but we see that that investment was a failure, and this is why we need to start going out here and creating our own independent black comics, black fantasy, and black science fiction like I'm trying to do right now, because the only way we get our stories told is if we go out here and tell them. And it looks like we're going to have to go out here and tell them, because Marvel Studios doesn't seem like they want to tell a Black Panther story. No, they want to give us girl power and disempower all of the brothers and sisters out there with this movie that is filled with insidious messages about swirling and about black people having no power. And basically they want to turn Wakanda from a futuristic community into a ghetto and program people to go back to having their minds to believe that they live in a psychological ghetto. Now, my comic, John Haynes at Death's Door, currently has 10 days to go on Kickstarter, and if you want to put in a pledge for a copy, you may do so by clicking the link in the description box. And if you want to see me make more videos like this, you can donate to my Patreon, my PayPal, or my Cash App by clicking the links in the description box. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe.
Now available in paperback and e-readers, E-Steam Horror of the Hyena Woman. Hell's aspiring angel takes on a wicked werewolf in this action-packed all-new E-Steam series adventure. Get E-Steam Horror of the Hyena Woman in paperback and e-readers today.